Hey everybody, I'm Zevi from Livecycle, and I'm joined here by my friend and colleague Pradumna. And what we are going to show you today is the latest and greatest version of our Docker for Desktop extension that's going to allow you and your team to quickly and easily share your latest code changes, collaborate on them, review them together, and then get them merged to production sooner. So Pradumna, why don't you give us a quick intro into the project that we're using for our demo?
Yeah, thank you, Xavier, for the introduction. And yeah, so this is a very basic application, very basic Compose application. So we will going to firstly use Compose to run this application. So first we will do Docker Compose up. Our website is running. This was already cached. This is why it take much lesser time to run it. And we can access it on localhost. Let me share my screen. So yeah, if you go to localhost 8000, so we can access my application. This is the basic application we are using for this demo. So it is working fine on the local host. And let me switch to the lifecycle extension and show you how you firstly can share this locally and then you and changing that local environment to cloud. Let me share my Docker extension screen.
So just Pradumna, while you're pulling that up, I just want to emphasize. So what you've done is you and I are not sitting next to each other. You're sitting across the world, and we're working on the same team. You've made some changes to this application that we're talking about, and you want to share them with me and let me review them. And we're going to see how to do that easily with the Docker extension. So go ahead.
So yeah, this is how the lifecycle extension looks. You can check out the video description for the lifecycle extension link. So you can see our doc extension already declared an Docker Compose application running. So if we click on share, we get two options, local and cloud. First, let's share with the local. And of course, we can change that to the cloud. Either we can deploy directly to the cloud.
This is a really great way, for the local option is a really great way to really instantly share a change while it's still sitting locally in your machine. Even though again we're not sitting next to each other, I'm not tapping you on the shoulder in real life. In a sense, able to do that because you're just publishing and giving me access to the local environment that's in your computer.
Correct, Xavier. And this is a really good approach because if you want a quick feedback and your feedback is so smaller, like if it's for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I think local is the best option. You can choose local over cloud, but of course, when you have a longer feedback cycle and you want like multiple people in the team checking out those changes,
Cool.
I think cloud make much more sense. So I think it depends. This is why we give the both option to the people. So you can see we generated the URL and I can share this URL. I can copy this URL by clicking the button and share with the Zevi, and he can have access for that.
So all you would need to do is share this link with me through Slack, or you can use the invite button on top and uh, invite me to just check out this environment that you've created. And even though I'm not sitting right next to it, I'd be able to quickly access this app, these changes in my browser from my computer, even though we're not sitting right next to each other. And that's great for these quick reviews, as you mentioned. But let's talk about now the new feature that we've just added, which is the ability to take this environment and also provision it to the cloud so that even after you close your machine and even after our immediate review session is done, we still have an environment that's sitting in the cloud that we can have a longer, kind of more extensive review session of these changes as needed. So why don't we show everybody how to do that?
Yeah, so now we have two options, as I mentioned. Either you can choose the local one and you have multiple cloud providers to choose between them, AWS, GCP, Azure, and Kubernetes. So I have previously deployed with an AWS. So this is why when I click on deploy, it will directly deploy to the AWS because I have already deployed an environment with the AWS. So to give you context, a single profile can have a single cloud service provider. So this means like if I have already used an AWS, I can deploy to the AWS only. So yeah, so currently it is deploying to the AWS, and in within few minutes we can see an environment which is running on AWS with a URL. So yeah, now our environment is deployed to the cloud. You can verify with this logo in front of this environment. So see, for logo we have a computer kind of logo, and for AWS or Azure or GCP or Kubernetes we have different logo according to their the providers. You have the same behavior like local, but now it is deployed in the cloud, so you have a much more stable URL.
So this means that, Pradumna, you can share with me again either that URL that you've now created with our newly provisioned environment, or you can invite me with the invite button at the top right of the user interface. And as we mentioned before, you and I and the rest of the team can have kind of an ongoing, longer form review session that's not limited to your local machine and to your local availability.
Yeah, 100%, Xavier. I think this is one of the most powerful thing because so we can't expect anyone running this compose application for 24 hours. No, people have another works to do and they might close up the laptop, they might close up the environments. So this is why this cloud is super important to have a really good feedback cycle because no one wants a broken link, correct? If I shared you the
Totally.
URL, you want the environment to be accessible by you, and this is the problem we are solving.
Okay, so Pradumna, this was a really great quick look at the latest version of our Docker for Desktop extension. Really appreciate how you showed everybody how we can not only do what we've been doing, which is creating a tunnel to our local environment and sharing that quickly. And now we've also added the ability to, with just a couple of clicks, provision environments to the cloud and have longer form review sessions. So I really appreciate it. And we hope that this set of tools will allow developers and dev teams everywhere to just collaborate better and to remove the friction from their review cycles.
For sure, Xavier. Yeah.
All right, looking forward to having everybody check out the extension.